we have Satya Nadella, who's on a 4-day India visit. He's speaking at Microsoft Leadership Summit. So let's listen in.
In some cases. But it's not just that. When you move to the cloud, for example, it's 70 to 80% more energy efficient. So if you want to sort of be more energy efficient on any workload, the first thing to do is to move to the cloud. And you also hedge against demand cycles, right? So by moving to the cloud, you're consuming only when you need it. So whether it's a hedge against energy, a hedge against demand, and get more efficient with cloud-native development. And so to me, that trifecta is pretty compelling. And so we are investing a ton. We have 60-plus regions, 200-plus data centers worldwide. In India itself, we have regions everywhere. We are expanding the regions. But we're adding a 4th region in Hyderabad as well. So we are very, very committed to making, I'll call it, the cloud infrastructure available everywhere. But it's just not in the cloud, because every factory, every warehouse, every hospital is going to also have, or every retail facility is going to need compute where data is getting generated. So distributed computing will remain distributed. And so with Azure Arc, we're even making sure that the cloud infrastructure gets truly embedded in the physical infrastructure. That's sort of the future of the cloud. The cloud's not just in our data centers, but it comes to every place where you need compute to be. And we see tremendous momentum today when it comes to cloud adoption. In fact, when I think about Microsoft, that's been the biggest. When in the client-server era, we sold a few servers in India. But in the cloud era, it's a completely different ballgame, right? When I look at every business and the cloud consumption, it's tremendous to see. We see Adani choosing Azure for its expansion, HFDC, using it, in fact, to consolidate all of the data platforms. And, Yes Bank built their super app. So tremendous adoption of cloud. And in fact, the more and more I talk to my partners and customers here, I get excited about sort of even the unique things that are happening in India using the cloud. And that's, really definitely a real departure from the previous era. The next imperative, it's all in the news, everybody's talking about it, is AI. And there's no question that when we look back 5 years, 10 years from now, we will talk about this transition. The good news for us at least, is that this transition from client-server to cloud was interesting. It was sort of harsh in some cases, but we made it. Whereas in this AI transition, this builds on the cloud transition. It's very hard because the large models that are creating this transition are all mostly possible, quite frankly, because of that cloud-native ability that the cloud provides to be able to train these large models. And in fact, one of the things that is sort of stunning is, we talk a lot about data and the amount of data that's going to be generated, but the point is these generative models are going to generate most of the data, right? And that is just starting. So we said, let's have some fun. So let's say we go to Dolly and ask it to generate some images on Mumbai. It sort of creates beautiful art. This is going to be the future that you're going to all live in. So it's some of them are at least very interesting. Then we said, okay, that's cool. Let's ask ChatGPT, what does it think about the future of Mumbai? And it sort of came up with some pretty compelling narrative, right? I mean, it sort of has real optimism that I talked about. It also shares. It talks about both, whether it's infrastructure, the tech involved, the culture. So pretty cool. So then I said, okay, let's get to the real meat of it. Let's ask it to rank order the street food of Mumbai. And it has an opinion. So it did come back. And Vada Pav wins. And then I asked it, where can I find the best Vada Pav? Not that I want to create some kind of a challenge for anybody here, but it sort of came back with places. I don't know whether Bandra wants to argue its case, but it's here. And here's the thing. I then went on to say, okay, write a play where Vada Pav argues its greatness, and it did it. And so you should say, oh, okay, this is all fun. Let's actually see it. It'll prompt it, and a little bit of prompt engineering, and it came back. Even Shakespeare would be proud of that. The thing is This is all fun and games, right? But think about what you just are seeing. You're seeing the emergence of a new reasoning engine.